Blake Lively will be sued. Ryan Reynolds, for sure. Blake Lively was no victim here. She was in control, she was in power, and she took over this film.
Even though you may not know this man, you undoubtedly know Justin Baldoni. And this man is Bryan Freedman, his attorney. Why did he appear so confident and fired up in his most recent public interview? Due to an unexpected new development regarding the Blake Lively scandal. Could be a game changer, particularly in their lawsuit. As everyone previously knew, Blake Lively threw a legal grenade at Justin Baldoni. Ryan Reynolds' trademark sarcasm, along with claims of harassment and manipulation, have turned a Hollywood feud into a full-fledged firestorm.
Everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist, right?
Here's the twist, though. Blake's lawsuit against Baldoni appears to be more about posing questions than it is about seeking justice. Why is Ryan stoking the fire, and why is one of Hollywood's wealthiest women targeting a man with much less clout than Baldoni? According to sources, Baldoni feels unfairly maligned and believes Blake has manipulated the narrative to suit her interests by using her platform as a weapon. Blake's reputation as Hollywood's golden girl, meanwhile, might be crumbling under scrutiny. Therefore, are we witnessing a power couple uncovering actual injustice or fabricating their most ambitious story yet? Keep an eye out, because when reputations are on the line in Tinseltown, nobody plays fair. People can't get enough of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, the Hollywood dream couple, because of their hilarious back and forth and constant support of one another. They are the ideal couple in the eyes of many fans, but guess what? They may not be the ideal couple that everyone believes them to be, and behind all the romantic moments, things are beginning to fall apart. And the confrontation between Blake and Justin Baldoni, which is at the center of all this drama, is really upending everything. As you are all aware, it began with Blake Lively dropping a huge bombshell. She filed a lawsuit against her co-star, and It Ends With Us director Justin Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment and launching a smear campaign against her. It's difficult to believe, given that Justin Baldoni was the target of all these accusations, but she is claiming that he not only harassed her, but also attempted to damage her reputation. However, Justin is denying everything and isn't giving up. What is this smear campaign that Blake is discussing then? People began talking about Blake when It Ends With Us came out, and this wasn't just rumors. Set crew members actually shared stories about how difficult it was to work with Blake. Some even accused her of being conceited and domineering. One reporter related an awkward experience interviewing Blake in which she focused solely on promoting her hair care line rather than the film's weighty subjects. That is an unwelcome diversion. Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, was merely attempting to use the movie to spread awareness of domestic abuse. He brought Blake on because the book's author, Colin Hoover, is a big fan of hers. However, it turns out that Blake kind of stole the show and made it her own. Justin was essentially pushed to the sidelines in the meantime, and Blake went into damage control mode and blamed Justin when the backlash began to affect her. Many now believe that the lawsuit, which was filed shortly after, may have been a last-ditch effort to change the course of events in her favor. Nothing but drama, but this is where Blake truly lost his way. She had the ideal opportunity to discuss organizations or resources when someone asked how survivors could get in touch with her for support during a movie press event. However, she responded with this sly response instead. What is the best way to get in touch with you if someone wants to talk and they see you in public and understand the movie's themes? For example, should they ask for my location alone, my address, or my phone number? People were quick to criticize her because of how inappropriate her response felt. For someone who claims to care about the issue, it was a hugely lost opportunity to truly change things. Blake appeared to be completely distracted during the press tour. Blake couldn't stop talking about her clothes while Baldoni was being honest and discussing the film's significant message. In addition to drawing attention to her wardrobe, her assertion that her husband, Ryan Reynolds, wrote the movie's famous rooftop scene caused some controversy. People began to wonder if she was more interested in the style than the film's message. The actual author hardly received any credit, and their work was somewhat overshadowed by Blake's remark. Supporters weren't shy about criticizing her for taking the limelight when it wasn't hers. Many people are now questioning whether Blake is renowned for her acting abilities or if she is merely a pretty face in Hollywood. In the words of one fan, Blake Lively was never really known for her acting. Instead, her appearance was the main topic of conversation. She now thinks a little too highly of herself, so when she behaved that way in the interview, it didn't make sense. Things changed after the release of the film. It became more than just Blake's strange on-set conduct or her dubious interview remarks. It became a larger trend. It became evident that Blake is all about preserving her reputation, even if it means bringing others low to improve her own. And now that Ryan Reynolds appears to be supporting her in her conflict with Baldoni, things are becoming even more tangled. It's good to see Ryan standing up for his wife, but it seems like he's allowing her to get away with doing things that could jeopardize someone else's career. Baldoni's patience is also wearing thin. He chose to fight back rather than simply let the courts handle matters amicably. He sued the New York Times $250 million for allegedly publishing a flimsy report supporting Blake's allegations.
Lively's dominated the media. What they did was they worked with the New York Times, or publicists worked directly with the New York Times. They shared illegally obtained text messages. They shared those together. They concocted a complaint that they filed with the Civil Rights Division. They omitted texts that would have provided context, texts that were in the exact same string that would have provided context of what was really going on. And in fact, they actually removed emojis from texts that show that there was satire and there was joking around by the PR crisis agents. I mean, the PR crisis agent was brought in because actually Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, was planting stories negative to Justin.
Thus, in addition to suing the Times, Baldoni is most likely pursuing a lawsuit against Blake. Bryan Freedman, Baldoni's attorney, came out swinging, claiming that the New York Times essentially went out of their way to appease two unchallenged Hollywood titans. Ryan and Blake Freedman claims that the report contained numerous misrepresented and altered texts, and that Baldoni's team has all of the original communications to support their claims. The New York Times retaliated, claiming that their report was responsible and comprehensive. They claimed to have thoroughly reviewed and accurately quoted thousands of original documents, emails, and texts. It gets even more juicier in Baldoni's lawsuit, and they intend to fight it all the way to the end. According to his team, filming was supposed to resume in January 2024, following the end of the industry strikes. At Blake and Ryan's apartment in New York, Baldoni and a few producers were summoned to a meeting. Reynolds allegedly attacked Baldoni at that point, accusing him of fat-shaming Blake and calling for an apology. When Baldoni declined to express regret for an act he did not commit, the whole situation became even more intense when Reynolds reportedly lost it. Baldoni claimed that it was a traumatic experience for him and that he had never been spoken to in such a manner before. Fans noticed something rather strange in a deleted scene in Deadpool vs. Wolverine involving Reynolds and his character Nice Pool. But Ryan Reynolds didn't stop there. Nice Pool is a feminist, sardonic, man-bun-wearing Deadpool with a twist. The problem is that, if you recall, Justin Baldoni also had a man bun for a very long time. He makes a joke about Lady Pool, played by Blake Lively, in the scene. That's okay, I identify as a feminist, he continues. The real kicker is when Nice Pool discusses his calling after making a joke about launching a podcast to capitalize on the women's movement. Baldoni, Justin is a strong supporter of women's rights and a friend of Ryan, and Justin, she participates in the Man Enough podcast, which is about masculinity. Considering that Ryan is a writer and producer on the movie and has a penchant for slipping in jokes, people are certain that Ryan was taking a direct shot at Justin. Bryan Freedman, Justin's attorney, wasn't amenable either. He immediately brought up the obvious, such as the fact that Justin's entire appearance, including his man bun, was completely mocked by Nice Pool's character. This is what Freedman stated in an interview with Megyn Kelly.
Your wife is sexually harassed. You don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation.
He went on to say that anyone who saw that hair bun would realize it wasn't a coincidence. I'm not sure how Ryan Reynolds expects anyone to think that, and Blake's lawsuit is getting messy just for this. Goodpool's remarks might actually make the couple's legal situation more difficult. Ryan may make it more difficult for people to take the accusations seriously because of his humorous approach to weighty. Certain individuals are even conjecturing that Ryan and Blake somewhat overstepped the boundaries between their personal and professional lives. Making a joke out of something so serious could backfire when it counts most. Blake's weight was brought up in a scene which sparked the body-shaming drama. It's a complete contradiction, and Ryan has been quite hostile toward Justin ever since. Justin, who was dealing with some back issues at the time, tried to handle it carefully, but Ryan completely lost it. The kicker is this: in fact, Ryan's remarks might strengthen Justin's case. Bryan Freedman, his attorney, is all over it, claiming that making fun of something like this indicates that they aren't treating the matter seriously. Justin's legal team is already gathering proof to put an end to that derision. Blake and Ryan are also involved in some dubious activities behind the scenes. Their films Deadpool and It Ends With Us appear to be a calculated power grab to dominate the box office. Blake is essentially taking over everything, and it all comes down to us. They have been altering production roles and manipulating release dates. She even pushed Justin away. Ryan offered Justin millions of dollars to simply step aside at one point when things became extremely tense, but Justin wouldn't have it.
What Ryan Reynolds, has seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, but, he's used it, on Deadpool and to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
In addition, Blake and Ryan were going to any lengths to secure Blake's part in the follow-up, even if it meant undermining Justin. You may have noticed that Justin was completely cut out of the promotional materials. He was not allowed to attend any media events, and Blake refused to speak to him at all during the premiere. It's obvious that there has been a lot of tension, but now that everything is becoming clear, Ryan's small joke in his film could completely backfire and undermine Blake's argument. Given everything that is happening, it is beginning to appear that her legal claims are in a mess. Tell us your thoughts on this case if you have been following it for some time. What do you believe to be the real story here? And more significantly, who do you support and why?